So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner, because he is as bald as a cue ball on the pool table. So, anyway, welcome to the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. So I also like to say a big giant welcome and thank you to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. No longer are you just viewers, but you are active participants as well, because I have included the link on YouTube for you to click on when I give the prompt, and you can come on and give your opinion or ask a question or whatever. All that I ask is that for those I am not familiar with, please show me your face before I bring you up to the big screen. That way I can verify it ain't no shenanigans and nothing like that. Because if you guys were unfortunately privy to what had happened like 3 months ago, it was a terrible sight to see. So now I got to do my due diligence. I also ask that if you come on here, please make your comment or commentary or question as short as possible. What I mean is, do not belabor the point. Now, I might see somebody else come up. So if you see me do this, the black power fist, that means wrap up your comment so that I can bring somebody else up. Sometimes I like to bring up, everybody at once. I'm just going to see how it goes today, as I feel this conversation might be a little bit, I don't know, heated. We'll see. So we'll take it from there. Donovan. If I didn't give y'all the title already, it is a mother blames absentee father for the actions of the son. And I will get into that shortly after Donovan. Donovan.
Hey, it is Sunday, you guys. That means it is Demetra K. Welcome, 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 everybody. Tisha K, everybody that usually comes on and do that. Do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That helps us with the algorithm, and let the people know, and let them know that people are watching this show, and so they could kind of look at us and see what we're talking about. Also, if you look at the bottom scroll there in the green, it says please donate. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. We don't mind the kind that rolls, but we do mind the kind that folds. We like the kind that folds. So good evening, everybody. This is good. This is a pretty good topic, because Demetra and I, we've talked about this in the past, in between, in regards to relationships. We know all relationships don't work out. However, that does not exempt a parent from raising a piss poor child in this world. Notice I said parent. I didn't say woman. I didn't say man. I said parent. So let's get into it.
You better, what's good for you. So yeah, I'm just playing. Anyway, Tisha, how you doing? Linda, how are you doing? And Jan Michael, how are you doing? I also ask that you all share. Donovan, you can share this on your end as well. So I kind of struggled what we were going to talk about today, because there's a lot of things we could talk about. Then it's like, really not feeling it. And then I just happened to go on TikTok, which I rarely do. And then I saw this video kind of trending. I think I was on Instagram. I don't know. Trending of this black mother who seemed like she was blaming the father for the actions of the son. Now, what happened was, it was on May 2nd in Memphis, Tennessee. A black man by the name of Jarrad Nathan, 26 years old. He, for whatever reason, fired one shot into Fox 13's news station. Then he ran and barricaded himself in a restaurant that was nearby in the bathroom. And he was there for a couple of hours. And so there was a couple of snippets that came out of that. And one of them was, I guess, the mother. And I was confused, because as I was reading the story, it says she was a stepmom. So I don't know if it's the mom biologically or the stepmother. But anyway, I'm going to put up the video, and then I'm going to continue on. All right. So here is her side of whatever. Here you go.
In tears at the learning her son was the gunman who shot into a local news station.
And be fathers today. This is a reflection of what his daddy. You teach your boys how to be men. They need their fathers. If they not at home with their son, no matter who they're around, girlfriend, or whatever. These boys need their daddy.
All right. So I know it's kind of hard to hear, but she basically was saying that the fathers need to teach your sons, and I'm paraphrasing better, how to be, men and not do the things that her son or stepson, whoever he may be, is accused of. So as I delved into the story, and mind you, I've seen a lot of heated conversation around this as to, who's really to blame. So as I delved into the story, as I usually like to try to do a little bit more research before I do a topic, I actually found this. Check it out. So as you saw there, he said he was the father. So I'm like, the mom or stepmom, whoever she is, says basically, the fathers need to be around more. They need to, I guess, in a paraphrasing, be in the lives of their sons, teach them how to be better men, and all those things. Again, the son, 26-year-old Gerard, was accused of firing into Fox 13 news station in Memphis, Tennessee. And as they also said too, I guess he was shot 6 times a couple of months back. So I guess he's still kind of reeling from that. But I want to have a conversation with you all, and most definitely Donovan. I'm sure it will be kind of heated. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. About what's going on here. Is there some validity to what she's saying? And I mean, we've seen the father there. He showed up to the scene. Seems like he was involved then. I don't know if that was the first time he's been involved. Like, I'm confused. But why do y'all think that mom said that? I don't know. Y'all help me out. That's as much as I know. So maybe we can fill in the blanks here. But let's see who came on here while that was going on. Oh, gosh. Let's see. Wilbur, how are you doing? DJ Charisma, what's going on with you? Big Rich, how are you? Monet, how are you? And Tisha says, my family is from Memphis. It's crazy there. Yeah. Every time I watch the first 48, Memphis was always on it. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Memphis or Birmingham. It's one or the other.
Or Houston, like the 5th Ward was always on there too. Let's see here. Michael, how are you doing? He says, how are you guys doing today? I'm headed to California for about 1 week. I'll be in Venice Beach, California. What areas to look for weather? Venice Beach is beautiful. Before I started doing this show, I would go to Venice Beach, my daughter and I, almost every Sunday, and we just hang out, right? So Venice Beach is a really good start, especially on Sundays. You will love it there. So let us know what you think. DJ Charisma says, what the hell? People can be raised by single moms and turn out fine. Brother Don, my moderator, how are you doing today? Donovan say, I'll let you use your comment for when you speak. And Arson, how are you doing? He says, hello, guys. Just came in. How are you? Hope you two have been great. We have been fabulous. Let's see here. Tisha says, I will say this. You can raise your children, instill values, and they will still make poor choices. Is it better to have both parents in a child's life? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, when they are grown, they are accountable for their own actions. Yes, indeed. Candy, how are you today? Brother Reggie, what's going on? And Brother Samuel, how are you? I'll recap the video in just a second. And Linda says, I think to get the heat off of her, and I truly believe the son suffered from PTSD from being shot. Yep, you might be on to something. So Donovan, what you got to say?
Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. I don't really have much to say in regards to this story, because this isn't something that's new. It isn't a new story at all. I mean, when things go wrong with our children, if the parents aren't married or they didn't have a long-lasting relationship, the father's always blamed. That's just the society we live in. We are dealing with, and this isn't all women, there's a lot of irresponsible, delusional women out there that don't look at themselves and say, hey, I may be the problem. I was raised by a widowed mother, my brother and I, and we turned out to be productive citizens. There's a lot of mothers out there that have raised, as single mothers, have raised successful young men to the best of their ability. Is this an anomaly? Most likely. But then again, if you look at, and I don't know if you guys channel surf YouTube like I do, how many stories okay, we have a lot of 75% of the Black kids born nowadays are born to single mothers, right? The fathers are not in the picture, or the mother's pretty much, they're not together. They're not married, right? So however you want to define single motherhood, whatever, they're not together legally. They might live together, whatever the deal is. But let's be real here. Our children, especially our boys, are failing in the school systems. A lot of them can't read past the 6th grade. Now, is that the fault of the mother? Is that the fault of the father? It could be a combination of both. We don't know. But in general, when you have a high number of single mothers who have chosen to raise boys without the fathers in the homes, you're going to have disciplinary problems, because, ladies, believe it or not, as much as you think you can do what you need to do with the man, that young 13, 14-year-old kid is going to grow to be 6'2", 175, 180 pounds, and in his manhood. And it's hard to control a young man in that aspect, which is why it's important to have a solid father figure type there. I have a nephew right here. His parents aren't together in the aspect of, because they're both in the military, but his mother's stationed right here. He has a stepfather. He also has me as an uncle, and he knows I don't play that crap. The mother is smart enough to use the resources around her to bring her boys positive situations. But I agree with what's her name with the PTSD. He just recently got shot. You know, the father needs to be in the boy's life. We just saw in the video that you just showed, Demetra, the father was right there. He showed up. So, I mean, let's get this narrative right. We are always, when things go wrong, you always blame the black man. When things goes wrong with the economy, you always blame the black man. When things go wrong in an election for the Democrats, you blame the black men for not showing up. It's always Jermaine's fault.
You was doing all right until you said that. It's always everybody blames the black man. That's for real.
That's the narrative. I mean, I know I put a lot of hyperbole on there, but that's usually the narrative. When things go wrong, it's, no matter what it is in this country, you blame the black man. Period. Asians are getting beat up. Oh, if these black men are attacking Asians, oh, they get a crime bill. No matter what it is, that's the scapegoat.
So we want to be clear. It's not always the black woman blaming the black man, right?
No, not at all. Like I said, I thought my commentary was very, very fair in aspect of what is going on. Just because you're a single mother doesn't mean you're a piss poor mother. Like I said, I can give you countless examples of single mothers who've raised successful children. Period.
Yeah, I think your commentary was fairly even until you said single moms choose to raise sons alone or children alone. And I'm like, I don't know how necessarily true that is. It might be true for some, but it's not a overall thing, right? Like there's these single moms are choosing to raise their sons alone.
Did I say that in this commentary, or are you using your notes from last week?
No, brother. Listen, one thing I could take.
I'm just making sure, because I don't think I maybe I did. I don't know, but go ahead.
You did. I ain't got a lie to kick it. I ain't got to lie on you.
Didn't say you lied. Maybe your recall blame Donovan. See what I'm saying, fellas? This is just the vitriol. They love it.
I want you to be very clear. Read my title, Master Debater. Okay.
Read my title, The Black Yul Brynner.
Where is he now, though? Where is he now? So anyway, I just want to kind of just point that out. I don't think that's a true narrative, because I hear, not just from you, Donovan, but I hear that a lot, that women, especially black women, kind of choose to do that. It's like, I don't know how necessarily true that is. It might be a few or whatever, but I don't think that's overall, right? Or even most. So anyway, let me get to these comments. I'm going to open up the link in just a minute. Thank you, Marcus. If you guys are on Facebook and you would like to join in on the conversation, well, actually, for anybody who maybe just want to make a comment, tap on the link. But if you want to come on, you need to go on YouTube, click on the link. Again, I must see your face. If I do not already know you, I'm not familiar with you, just to make sure you are a human, right? And somebody who ain't going to do nothing nasty. So anyway, let's see here. Jason, you say Donovan for the win. Boo. And how you doing, by the way? DJ Charisma, he says, I'm at work, but I want to get on. Well, do it with caution. We don't want you to get in trouble. Jan Michael, he says, agreed. All I ever hear is black man. Yeah, where y'all need to hang out with in different circles if all y'all ever hear is the black man's fault. And Easy, how are you doing today? Cortez, long time no see. He says, hey, Demetra and Donovan, everybody blame each other. Each when it's black man and black woman. Yeah, I would say that we need really need to get good at personal responsibility. That seems to be lacking everywhere, not just in our community, but everywhere. Everybody wants to point the fingers, right? It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's never me, right? So it does take some reflection. Moni, always remember the birthdays. Boy, I tell you, you are our gem. Moni says, Donovan, I want to wish you an early, happy, wonderful birthday month. As you know, I believe in giving a person props on one's birthday. You are not limited to one day. Enjoy. So yes, Donovan's birthday is May 9th, where he'll be a grand old 60. Can y'all believe it? Donovan's turning 60 years old. God, he's old. Not really. He'll be 53. Donovan will be turning 53, okay? Brother Samuel, he's saying, Proverbs, first chapter, verse 1 says, the proverb of Solomon, a wise son maketh a good father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Michael, I ain't opened up the link just yet. I ain't opened it up yet. Thank you. Jerome, how you doing? What's good with you? And Cortez says it's a gender war between the black man and black woman, not all, but most. And yeah, that needs to stop most expeditiously, right? It's ridiculous. Arson says about the subject, I was raised with my mother. I feel awkward committing crimes and having people believe it was due to my father's absence. It's more about instilling the right values. Yeah. And even sometimes when you do instill the right values, people are going to do what they want to do, right? And Avi, the tea queen, how are you doing? He says he said it, and that's gaslighting. I know I ain't crazy. See, he be trying to make y'all think I'm crazy, but I'm glad that we're doing this live and in real time, because Donovan liked to gaslight a whole lot. He better not never.
I do not gaslight. The truth hurts some people. A hit dog hollers.
You better not never strike no match with all the gaslighting you doing, brother. Never. Wilbur, he says, and if I didn't already, hello, he says, laugh out loud, I'm sure some married women raising their kids like the father's not even there. Yeah, they could be doing that too. Tisha says that's too broad of a brush, Donovan. No woman wants to raise a child by themselves.
Right. Now, Tisha, I agree with you. But then please explain to me, I hear what you're saying, but please explain to me how 70-something% of the Black community's children that are born in the modern age are born to single mothers. Please explain that.
I'm gonna kind of jump in a little bit. This is a rhetorical. You ain't got the answer. Did that mama impregnate herself? You ain't got an answer. I just want to throw it out there.
See, you're gaslighting right there. Yes, you are. Wait. When two people get together, okay, why is it they select each other to get down and for the get down? Why are they not staying together? Why are they not staying together? Why?
Are you saying that's all the mother's fault?
No, that ain't what I'm saying is. But the point is, when it comes to children, women have the last verdict if that child is going to be born or not. Period. I'm not saying, go abort or whatever you're going to do. But when it comes to the birth of the child, the final decision is on that mother. That's what I'm saying. So let's talk about, that. If you're not going to be with this man, why would you give a man the greatest gift you can give him by giving him a child that he doesn't want? Let's just say in some situations, he doesn't even want the child, or maybe it was a one-night stand. Why is it? Again, you can say what you want to say. 70% of children born in the Black community are born to single mothers. Yes, it takes two to do it. I agree. But at the end of the day, the woman decides if that child is born onto this earth or not.
Listen, brother, that damn the gaslighting, that was a red herring out of nowhere. You like, it was a red herring because you started the answer and then you went on to how they choose to have the children and all these other things. It was just all over the place, right? Like I don't even know what that was.
I believe it was all over the place. I bet you all the fellas, I believe all the fellas understood exactly what I said. They understood exactly what I said.
If y'all understood that, then y'all lying to kick it, because that was all over. I'm gonna read the Jerome.
Again, wait. Again, and let me be clear to the audience. A man's perspective, a woman's perspective. I respect Demetra's opinion as a woman. It's simple as that. She's going to see it one way. I'm going to see it another. And I guarantee you, most men see it the way I see it. Most women see it the way Demetra see it. That's the facts.
I'm just saying your argument was all over the place, brother.
No, it wasn't all over the place. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I gave you the numbers of the high rates of birth. It's a fact that children are born into this world. The final decision rests with the woman. My body, my choice. That's what women say.
Well, how does that match up with her wanting to be a single mama and her choosing to have a child? You totally with both. Wait. Because with both of those, you negated the father all the way around. So on one hand, you said she choosing to be a single mom. Then on the other, you said it's her decision what life she brings into the world. Wait.
Go ahead.
Which I don't even know how that came into the conversation, because this is what I said. I'm going to say it again. This is what happened when people talk past the close. Like, you was doing all right, and then you threw in, or the women decide to have the children. It's like, well, wait, Donovan.
Go ahead.
When you talk, I don't say a word. I let you finish.
Go
if
ahead.
it's 10 minutes, you get to talk, okay? But in both of that, in all of that, you did not mention the responsibility of the man. So that's why I said, can that woman have a child by herself? And you went on this long old Negro explaining tour and threw everything but the kitchen sink up in there.
Did you hear when I said when two people get together for whatever reasons they don't want to be together? Did you get that part? Did you hear that part?
Then how did you get in? Why did you?
No. Wait, answer the question. Did you hear the part where I said two people who get together for whatever reasons, it doesn't work out or whatever? I said that, correct?
You did.
So that puts the blame on both of those two people, correct?
But then what did you do?
But then I said at the end of the day, the child, if it's going to be birthed or not on this earth, that falls on the woman. The man almost has no input on that. That's a fact.
What does that got to do with the price of tea? What does that got to do with the price of tea? Let me finish my question. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Okay, it has a lot to do with the price of tea in China. If a woman is the final decider if she's going to be a single mother or not, and she's not going to be with this man, as I think I said in my thing, why would you give a man the greatest gift in the world and you're not going to be with him?
So then what you did was what I said you did. You blamed the women for being a single mama, and absolved the dude all the way. Wait a minute.
I'm just shaking my head.
You want to jump in there so bad because you do
not
want
Go ahead.
me. Okay, so what I'm saying is, yes, you said it was both, and then you went on this I don't know what it was, and talked about women having a baby, having the choice to bring the baby into the world. And it's like, so then you went right back to blaming the mama for being a single mama.
I never blamed a woman for being a single mother. Where did I blame a woman for being a single mother? I never blamed a woman. I just said she is bringing a child in here at the end of the day. The statistical numbers show children born in the modern age are born to a high number of single mothers in our community. That's a fact. Nobody's putting blame. We're dealing with facts.
When the doves cry, doot, 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 doot. Okay, let me get to these comments. Jerome, give us one moment, please, as I have not opened up the link just yet. So the next comment was Jerome. I'm gonna bring you up really quick. What you got on this conversation?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. How you doing?
I'm good. I just had a long day at work, just like resting up and everything. How you doing, Mr. Recovering Democrat? Good?
What's on your mind, brother?
So, what causes the rift between the rift in the creation of single mothers to an extent is the facts of miseducation and economic castration. Miseducation, which affects the child the most, because our children are always engulfed in the most egregious form of education as they attend the Department of Education, whether it's private local, even religious schools in some extent. And obviously, for the case of, you know, a lot of stories of pedophilia going over there, but that's a whole different topic. But as far as economic castration goes, the black man is always affected by economic castration. So, which is one of the reasons why he can't fulfill his duties as a father, because of the denial of access to an economic base. So, but as far as single mothers goes, okay, a single mother is most likely going to be that because of the man's inability to provide. Now, there are some goofy, dusty individuals who said, "The hell with you and your kid." He'll jump into another punani, if you know what I mean. But I'm just speaking the facts of economic castration, which affects black men to this day. But like I said before, a lot of dusty goofies out here, game goofies out here, just want the punani and don't want anything to do with the kids. So.
I always do that. As I say, well, thank you so much for your insight. I love and appreciate you for coming up here. Please come and see us again. I got somebody else wanting to come up and give their 2 cents. So we will see you later.
Peace.
Oh, bye-bye.
What up, y'all?
Wait. Marcus.
You know, you gotta start paying me for that before it becomes a slogan. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, baby. I'm good. How you doing, Donovan?
Man, hanging and waiting on you. How you been hanging out there?
Brother, I have to tell you about it another time. It's kind of a long one, but a short one at the same time.
Yes, indeed. What's your input on this topic?
What I want to say is I just don't think I think we still at a place where we don't think things through. We still lay down, we still have sex, we still, you know, make babies without any consequences or without any thought of what we're doing until it's done. We still at that stage where it's like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, when you got a million things that could have kept you from getting pregnant. You know, when you got every tool at your disposal to keep from getting pregnant, you still lay down and do the same thing in most cases that you did the last time, and you still want to call it an accident. So that's my thing. I think we don't think about when we're laying down with somebody, we don't think about who we're making a father out of. We don't think about is this the night that sperm gonna hit just right? You know, we don't think about none of the consequences in the moment. It's kind of the same way how we feel about when I see like black people shoot black people. We do the crime and then we think about the aftermath while we running. We don't think about it in the moment and say, you know what? Is this action worth it right now? That same thing with pregnancy, and we're still at that point. I still hear people say, I don't know how it happened. And I'm like, motherfucker, you got 2 kids. You already got 2 kids. It happened the same way it happened the first 2 times, and you say those were accidents. You know, so I that's what I think the biggest thing is. We still don't, you know, we're not those people yet. We're not those people.
You know what? You make a lot of sense, dear Marcus. A lot of sense. I mean, like you said, at this point in the game, we should know what the consequences are. We should ask more questions as to who we are betting. Unfortunately, we do not do that. And we do not see if the other person is going to be a good parent, whether it's the mom or the dad. And then it's like, oops, And that's why I always say, well, we know that sex, the point of sex is procreation, but we've turned it into everything else, right? It's, you know, woo, it's swinging from the chandeliers and all this other stuff. And then in between all of that, you start a baby. And then it's like, well, I don't know about all of that. It was like, nah, you have the grand old time until, you know, a baby is going to be, you know, coming down the pipes, no pun intended, in like 9 months. So, yeah, we need to really start being more critical thinkers and saying, you're cute.
I got a question, though. I got a question for y'all. I think I know the answer. I just want to hear what you're going to say. Why do you think we're still at the point where we do those things without even thinking? You know, why are we still in that mindset where we know exactly what's going to happen, and then we act surprised when it happens?
Well, if you're asking me, I think it's because we are incentivized to do such a thing. And when I mean incentivized, speaking as a man, we're incentivized because we're told constantly that there's going to be a good job. You're the man, you're the head. You know, all this great things are going to happen. We go to college, you're going to get this great job. You can take care of everything. You're a baller. You're this, that. We're just told this as a man on a constant basis that we think that it's just like anything else. If you've never went through it for the first time, you won't learn it. You know, it's like, well, I heard my friend went to the child support system, but that's him. It ain't going to happen to me. Everybody thinks it's not going to happen to them. When I went through the child support system and got thumped and jumped and all that other stuff, you don't see me running around with any more kids. You don't see that happening at all. But it's always those ones you tell them, hey, don't do this, don't do that. But they got to learn on their own. And this is the problem that we're having, you know, and I'm just speaking from the man's point of view. We just think, I heard my buddy did it. I heard so-and-so was going through, but that's not going to happen to me because my girl ain't like that. My girl, this or that. And then, you know, the relationship doesn't work out. They're in the child support system.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know what you say to that.
Yes, indeed. So again, I see a lot of the men saying Donovan's right. But again, as I always say, y'all know that it's the woman's choice. Why are you choosing to implant seeds in that woman? If you will know that it's the woman's choice and she can make you a father, even though you don't want to be that, why are you there participating in said procreation? That is the question that I always have, because y'all got all the answers as to, oh, it's the woman. It's the woman. Wait, let me finish. It's the woman. She has all the choice, blah, blah, blah. But y'all, like I said, y'all choosing to jump in the bed with her. So who can you really blame for that? Again, I'm into taking personal responsibility for one's actions. I really am. But we can't keep listening to men talking about, well, y'all women, y'all choose when to have sex and when to create a baby, but she can't create that baby without you. So go ahead.
I want to say this. 9 times out of 10, if a guy is that careless, he been that careless before, and he probably been that careless before then. And she knows these things. A lot of times she knows Jody in the house. She knows Jody in the bed. Now the problem, to me, the problem is she ain't took a minute right there to say, you know what? This here is a baby making machine. Let me, if I'm going to give him the booty tonight, let me get every precaution in place so I don't become one of his baby mamas. Now, as for the guy, if he that careless about it, then that's who he is. She don't have the right to be, what I'm saying is, she don't have the right to be surprised if he already got a kid. That lets you know he trying to put a bullet in everything he hit. You know, you can't act like you the one that it ain't gonna happen to, because you don't know that. God only know that. You know, so I still say, as the woman who got to carry that baby, who got to mother that baby, sometimes even father that baby, you got everything you need to not make that baby. You got everything you need. You know, and I mean, it's a lot of women that like a good hoe, because a good hoe provides good sex and then he go home. But you can't say I'm gonna like a good hoe and I'm gonna still take the same chances that the last woman took, and then be surprised when I get the same baby she got. It's up there. I mean, I ain't taking nothing away from the guy, but I'm saying most of these women know when they got a baby making machine in front of them. Most of them know when they're gonna be a single parent. It don't be a surprise all the time. Rarely is it a surprise. It's rarely a surprise, and that's all I'm saying.
I mean, I hear you. I hear you. But as I said, it takes two to tango. And for us to be trying to go back and forth, it's more the woman's fault than it's the man's fault. If y'all both agreed to get in that bed unprotected, then you both agreed, as a lady said, and thank you for the donation. As she said, you know, as far as fathers, and I agree with the mothers as well, you agreed to be a father. If you stuck your dang-a-lang in that woman with no protection or precaution or anything, you also agreed to be a father. Even though you didn't say, hey, I want to be a father, you agreed to do that when you did not protect yourself, even up to the point of saying, nah, I ain't going to do it. Fighting hard for, let's see who's on here.
But what if you agreed to be the same father to that baby that you are to the previous kids, and she know how you are? That's all I'm saying. He agreed to be a father because he don't mind shooting the sperm, but he's still gonna be the same father he always been, which is nothing. All I'm saying is, on her part, why are you surprised when you giving this same type of dude the booty and then he put a baby there? You can't expect him to do anything different than he did with the other 5 kids.
So I mean, I guess we're all agreeing that, yeah, it's on both sides. It's on both people. Yeah, the woman should not be lying down with a dude who is irresponsible for whatever reason, but they do. And say, just like a man, if he's irresponsible for whatever reason, stop making babies. So I mean, the blame it's always go on both sides. You know what I mean? It's like you can't say, well, the woman knew she was with old dude who's irresponsible, and not say, hey, dude, be irresponsible. If you know you ain't taking care of 50, 11 kids you got, stop hopping in the bed of these women. See how I'm saying? The admonishment goes both ways.
Right, but here's the thing.
I might not care about that. I might not care about knocking them out back to back. That's what I'm saying. You got dudes out here that don't care about hitting them home runs.
Right. Now, but that's only 20% of men, according to statistics. The ones that are out there making all of these babies and stuff, that's 20% of men. 80% of men are out there practicing, you know, safe sex and all this other stuff. Now, we know condoms don't always break or whatever. Tisha K says, what about women who get pregnant while taking birth control pills, depot shots, IUDs, etc.? Things happen, yes. And again, Tisha, that's a small number of women. That's a
God wants you to have a baby.
That's a small number of women when stuff like that happens. But, you know, and I know every woman knows a woman that happened to her, whatever it is. Did it really? Come on now.
Okay, but to Tisha's point, and to your point, if that's a small number and God wanted you to have a baby, did God also want that man to stay and help her raise that baby?
I would think so.
But all I'm saying is, you got pregnant by the dude that you know don't raise babies, because a lot of them do. I see it all the time. Yeah,
but I think y'all making it a little too simple though. Wait.
Good.
Y'all making it a little too simple. She know, because that's not always the case. I have my daughter at the age of 21 by a man who didn't have no kids, and you know, I didn't know we would not stay together. You know, he purported to be a good guy. I mean, whatever the case is, we were young. He's a good guy now, and all of that. He was there helping me raise our child, so I won't say he was absentee, but you know, I just think that we need to put the onus on both people. We can't keep saying, oh, the woman, she has all the control, when the man was there with her.
Right. No, the onus is on both people. But again, here's a question. A lot of us say there's only 3 forms of birth control men can use: condom, abstinence, or vasectomy. That's 3 for the men. There's over 47 and counting for the women. We're not blaming the women, but what we're saying is, if men only have 3 options, how are these women that have all 40 something different options and now I think they're talking about over counter birth control without a doctor's prescription. They're talking about that now. How are all these women still ending up pregnant? Yes, the men have responsibility in it, but at the end of the day, why are these women having sex unprotected as well? Because basically what we're trying to say is, I don't believe all men are going in there raw dogging. I don't believe that for the high number of pregnancies. I just don't believe that. And if they aren't raw dogging, you mean to tell me that the condoms are that much, basically you might as well not use a condom? I don't believe that.
Well, if you don't want to have a baby with somebody you're unsure of, well, then what's the best way not to do that?
Again, men have abstinence, vasectomy, or condoms.
Abstinence, because vasectomies and condoms are still not 100%
right. Exactly.
foolproof.
Right.
All right.
But
So
that's the only way a man can do it.
All right, Michael, what's on your mind?
Oh, sorry. I was just waiting until you guys were finished.
Oh no, that's okay. We just jumping in and out. What's on your mind?
Oh, okay. Are you sure you want me to jump? I think I'll probably wait. I know it's going to get very heated.
Okay, well, come on back then when it cool off a little bit.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Michael.
You're...
Miss Carlos, what's on your mind, baby?
So, I am a birth control baby. Okay. So, my mom didn't even know she was pregnant with me until almost 6 months. On regular birth control, like you said, nothing is 100 proof. And when she got the ultrasound, they're like, did you feel any fluttering? She was like, fluttering? Like, what is the fluttering? Hey, it was me. But in all actuality, though, for real, I have 7 kids. Okay. And I pretty much did it by myself. Not that I felt like I was just gonna, relationships just sometimes don't work a lot of the time. You get good sex in the beginning and you're meeting the representative. And guess what? While you still dealing with the representative and you got that good sex, them good babies keep on coming. And that's just the reality of it. But I don't think to blame the absenteeism of a father or a mother is the end all be all. Because out of my 7, only one of them got in trouble. Because they knew that I would show up, I would show out, and I would whoop their ass in the school. Where you act up is where I'm telling you, my daughter cut up one time in high school, and I showed up in some booty shorts, real ashy, with my hair all over her head. So where you embarrass me, I'm going to embarrass you. I didn't have no more problems after that. So I think for, all the single parentness, they're this generation, I'll just say, is not very responsible. Their responsible choices are, hold on one second, I see you. I see you. But their responsible choices are today alcohol, they popping pills, you waking up, you don't know who you in the bed with, and you being irresponsible. This generation, a lot of this generation is like that. So it's choices at the end of the day. And at the end, the real say so that I believe is the parenting. They're not these kids' parents. They are these children's friends.
You're right. Brother Marcus.
I got a question. You say you 7 kids, right? In making those 7 kids, when it happened, when you were with the guy, was it in a moment where, okay, I'm with the guy that I want to have kids with, or was it in the moment where you just was like, you know what, I'm feeling him tonight.
No.
I want to be with him, and maybe we got a baby out of it or something.
We were pretty much in relationships.
Okay.
So that's different. Like I said, our generation and what we did, a lot of us were in relationships that just did not work. Today, this generation is a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And that's what it is. And I mean, you know what it is going into it. So like that, like I think everybody on here can say, unless you didn't got drugged or something like that, you make conscious choices when you walk out the door and you deal with the person that you're dealing with. If you don't fully know the person, should you be responsible to either say, no, I'm not going to sleep with you, or, you know, this could turn into something else. But when you normally meet somebody today and you're young, they ain't looking that far ahead. They looking for the right now moment. And if life is created right now, either they're going to be in that clinic or they're going to be raising a baby. And that's just it. And that's all.
Absolutely.
I'll say this. I got 3 kids that I actually made, and thank God for them. I really do. I thank God for them.
But at the same time, all 3 were not a decision. They were not a decision to be made. All 3 of them were not something I said, okay, I want us to make a baby together. All 3 were a surprise. And I'm gonna say this right here also. In the beginning of that moment, I'm thinking, you know, you need to protect yourself. But I ain't got nothing there, and I'm not finna get up and go get it. I'm looking at her, and we both looking at each other, but she don't even want to say it because I might stop what I'm doing and say, well, let's go get it, because we in the moment. Now, soon as you penetrate, all of that go out your mind, and you're going to do exactly what you laid down to do, and then you're going to get a baby. And I see that, and I ain't trying to say, I've done a lot, and I've never had a moment with anybody where we wondered if we could get pregnant or not. We were in the moment. It was casual. It was so cavalier. That's why I'm so hard on my kids now, because I know it was casual. It was just a laughing moment. It was a flirting moment. It was like, you know, do you really want to? Yeah, I want to. It was like a game almost. We're just playing it until we're actually doing it. And then something happened and it hit you in your stomach. And you're like, oh shit, look what we did. You know, but I know going into the process, it was never thought out. It was never a worry. It was never a real concern. Even after making the first 2, going into the 3rd one, it still was never a real concern.
Okay,
it was only a concern after the fact, after the child support, after we fall out with each other, and I don't like you and you don't like me. That's when it became a concern. Up until then, we was good. 9 times out of 10, and I'll stop right here. We already know the relationship barely makes it through the 9 months, if it makes it at all. So that's all I'm saying. And I think that is more prevalent than we think. We don't think it through. Even despite all the evidence, we do not think, we do not think things through. I'm not just going to put that on us totally, but I see it in us. It's a natural habit. It's a natural habit. We don't think things through. We think after the fact.
You know what, Marcus?
And we still do.
I'm going to say this. Black America, if you're somewhere, I love you. How are you? I didn't think that anybody, Marcus, you know I love you too, but I think you got Black America beat today. Black America is our resident, if you will. You know, we don't think about that kind of stuff. We just, you know, we don't care if we procreate and all that stuff. And I don't know. I just, like, I hear you and I believe that is your truth, Marcus, but I would say that anytime that I've laid down with anybody, which has been like one time in my life, you know, I've always...
Okay,
but it ain't a lot though. But I'm saying, I thought about it. I'm like, damn, what if? You know what I'm saying? It's crossed my mind. So it's kind of strange for me to hear people say, I just, woo, and never thought about it. You know what I mean?
No, dude. And I'm going to say this because I get what he's saying. But we even as adults, you said it very clear. You thought about it, but you did not want to get up. So you made a conscious choice to stick your dick in her and keep on moving. Sorry, y'all. But at the end of the day, it was your choice. You said not one time, not two times, but three times. So three times you didn't come on now. That's just like when I had my daughter. When I went back for my 6-week checkup, I know good and well I ain't had no business doing and bit of nothing. Because at that 6-week checkup, guess what it was? I was back pregnant.
Yeah. Let me ask you something real quick, because maybe I forgot it when I was dealing with my cat and stuff. For all your children, were they all planned?
None of them were planned.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Were you on birth control?
No.
Okay.
But I always told my kid's father, I'm not going to get no abortion. So you knew from the gate when you laid down, if it happened, this is what it was.
Right, exactly.
My oldest daughter, Donovan, my oldest daughter's father, I was 17. He was 34. Okay? That was definitely not planned. And I was a kid at the end of the day, but I even told him, this is what it is. Now, whether you deal with it, you deal with it accordingly.
Now, let me ask you this real quick. Now, you were 17, young age, no, you're not on birth control. What are the chances and the statistics of other young women in the modern age that have the same exact attitude? You know, they didn't plan on having sex, but they had it, and their condom broke. They weren't on birth control. Like I said, there's blame on both sides. So, I mean, and I'm with you on that, Corliss. I think today these young girls are just as reckless as the young boys. They're more liberated. They're more sexually free. They're more sexually promiscuous than the past generations. So again, I think it's on both sides.
It is very much so. And I could say this too. I thank God. Like, I have 4 girls and 3 boys. My oldest daughter had 1 kid. When she had that 1 baby and them 37 stitches, she was like, oh, I'm good. And she meant that. So sometimes, you know, it just takes one real bad experience. I never put my children's father on child support. I never did that. Because at the end of the day, it was my choice. Now, did some of them come to the plate and step up? Well, eventually. Some of them, it was a whole bunch of headaches. So guess what? I'd rather do it by myself without all the extra. And I did what I had to do as a mother. And that was just it. I didn't go through the child support phase. I don't need your money because I can get out here and make it. And that's what I did. So my kids have that. I can get out here and make it just like my mom did. Not that, like my son, he has a baby. He didn't want to be a single parent. They share, but the girl is so reckless and so demonic almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like she gives him a blues just to be the good father that he wants to be. And that works both ways. So what about women that are like that? Because it is some treacherous broads out here, and I be wanting to hit them myself, and I'm a woman. But you have men that want to step up to the plate and be a good father. And for whatever reason, you know, they jealous hearted. They want to be with them. It didn't work out, so I'm going to keep my baby. Well, guess what? That's why your ass a single parent.
And I want to say this too. And JD informed me, give me 1 second. Donovan, you said I guess you said young girls is what you said, are more promiscuous now than they were back in the day. They're even more promiscuous than the boys. And I just kind of thought about something because I was like, I thought I heard that pregnancy rates actually for teens are going down. And they said, in fact, it's gone down by 50% in the last decade. And I was just looking at this too. It says, what ethnicity gets pregnant the youngest? And it says disparities in teen birth rates, 5.5% for Hispanic females, 5.8 for non-Hispanic white females, and 1.9 for non-Hispanic Black females. So I just kind of wanted to put that in there, in you know, just kind of tying it in what you're saying about the promiscuity of young girls. the pregnancy rate has actually dropped. So I don't even know how we would, gauge that. So
I would disagree with you, but I respect
I'm
your
reading
source.
right here from the CDC.
No, I respect your source. I disagree with you.
Okay, but I'm reading that from the CDC. So it ain't me. I'm reading from the Center of Disease Control.
Right.
It ain't me.
Right.
Hey, if the numbers isn't going down, it's because they ain't procreating with us anyway. They didn't flip to the other side. I'm just saying, like it's. I mean, we all see it. Unless you blind, Ray Charles could see that. But if the rates have actually dropped down, I would say that's.
You say what did you say the number of single moms is? What's the percentage right now?
It depends on who you ask, but I say roughly about 70%, give or take.
So let me ask you this: at 70%, and you say give or take, so that ratio could go up and down, but it's probably been the same for a long period of time. All I'm saying is, as a woman, all the evidence is there that it's a good chance if you get pregnant, there's not going to be a father there to help you raise that baby.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there, Brother Marcus. You said there's a good chance that he's not going to be there. Why is there a good chance? And Jay the informant, I'm going to bring you in after this question. Why is there a good chance that father may not be there? We're talking about black fathers because we're talking about black mothers. So why is it a chance?
It's a good chance he's not going to be there for that baby because it's a good chance he wasn't there for the last baby. That's his MO. That's his MO. And all I'm saying is a lot of women know about it. Now, don't get me wrong. It's both our faults that we make these babies. We got both accountability on both sides. But at the end of the day, when the baby come out, he going home with you if I don't want to have nothing to do with it. You still got him for 18 to 20 years if I don't want to have nothing to do with it. All I'm saying is, if it was a planned decision and it didn't work out, fine. But if it's still carelessness and it's still just not taking care of yourself going into the process, then it's still it's wrong. And as much as it is both our fault, you still got to be a mom.
Jay, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. If you don't mind speaking up, we would love and appreciate that.
Let me turn up the volume. Can you hear me now? Am I coming through good?
Yes, it's good.
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you guys? I'm doing pretty good today. I don't know how I want to start this because I was actually wanting to talk about that clip I saw. I kind of came in late, so I went back and watched the video. I don't like how the news station approached the father. I think that he was caught off guard. He was kind of babbling to a point, in my opinion. And I also don't like how the mother approached the whole situation either, because it's like she just went towards blaming the fathers and talking about the fathers need to be there. I don't think that had anything to do with the situation that was at hand, which is him shooting at the Fox News. For whatever reason he did that. I don't know if he watched a bad news clip or maybe they were talking about him, because you did say that he was shot 6 times and maybe they covered him and they made him look like a criminal, so he was upset about something. I don't agree with what the mother did just because the mother tried to blame fathers for the situation. And the father was just looking like a fool. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on in there. I mean, but, he did show up to try to see about his son, because they actually said they were on live and the father just showed up. So I don't even know if the father knew that they were on live, on air, whatever. Sounds like he just kind of maybe heard what happened. And he went down there. And so,
I mean, but still, you got to have some type of, he had to see the news camera behind this person that was talking to him. And I think it kind of made him look even worse. I mean, the whole situation, I know it's terrible, but don't add on to the situation. I mean, we already know that they're going to try to make you look bad, not only because of what the mother said, but because you approach the situation and you're not. It didn't look like he was in his right state, in my opinion.
And I'm going to agree with Don't Ask Me. And how you doing, by the way? How is he looking like a fool? I mean, I think, God forbid, I was in that situation and my daughter had did something like that, and I go down there. I don't know if there would be a rational way, per se, to deal with that if your child It's barricaded. They've already allegedly, fired off a gun, and police is out there trying to get them to come out. I don't know how you would,
Well,
hey, how y'all doing today? Are you guys good? Oh yes, I'm doing well. You guys, how was breakfast? I don't think you would be calm with that. You would probably be just that way. And if you ask me, I think that daddy was behaved rather calm under the circumstance. So I guess I'm like, don't ask me. I don't get how the father was wrong in that, and trying to get his child to come out of there alive.
no, you're right. So maybe the word fool, I misused that word, but the words that he was using in the conversation, he kept on calling. Of course, he called his son his baby. Okay, I get that, but not only that, but he was kind of emotional. He wasn't like situated for the situation. I don't think you should just run down there and get involved in the situation immediately. I think he should have held back for a minute before he did. And like you said,
dear brother, I mean to keep cutting you off, but I'm one of those people. It's hard for me to put myself in somebody's shoes. Like, how many of us have actually been in a place where our son is barricaded in the bathroom and got all these police officers out there potentially going to do something bad to them, right? So as far as to say how that man should have behaved, I don't think we are in the right situation to tell him next time you need to tiptoe and say, excuse me, pardon the interruption. That happens to be my child. You know what I'm saying? I thought the father was perfect, and you said him calling him his baby. I think we need to get out of that. Now, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just saying, get out of that mind frame, and that men cannot be emotionally affectionate to their male sons. Him calling his male son a baby, that doesn't mean that he thinks he's a baby. He's just endearment, like baby, honey, because we talk to our daughters like that. And I think some of y'all men, y'all need that emotional connection, in that it's all right to, to sometimes feel. Now, I'm not saying be overly emotional, but just feel. I love that the fact that his father likened him to, hey, baby, come on out of there. I love you. I don't want nothing to happen to you type of thing. So.
Okay, I would agree with that. And, maybe, because I don't, it's the whole, the optics of the situation. Now, I'm not trying to say that he shouldn't call, I mean, because, I believe that, yeah, males should be affectionate towards their kids. Of course, I agree with that. It's just the whole optics of it. I think it made him look made the situation look worse. And then when somebody like Fox News, especially because he shot into their news station, they play that. I don't want to say we should live off what other people see, but these people are going to look at that and they're going to be like, oh, you should have raised him. And of course, what the mother said, where somebody should have been there for, a male should have been there for, they're going to go off these words and they're going to, try to project that on him. So I don't think it was just a good situation for him. That's the way I'm looking at it. I could be wrong and you could be absolutely right,
I mean, we just jiving, brother. We just, kind of trying to come to a happy medium or whatever. But I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't think the father did anything wrong. I think he was a hell of a man for showing up to try to coax his child out of what could have been a very deadly situation for him. So I can't be mad at him for that.
Oh no, of course not.
I'll say this for the father. There's no rational way to do what he did, considering our relationship with the police, the climate that we live in, and did the boy shoot into something called Fox News, or did he shoot into the Fox News station? There's Fox News.
He actually shot the building, so it was actually Fox News station building.
So that right there hits on a whole nother level too, because if you shot at Fox News and that was your intention, then there's hatred there for what Fox News represents. So there's a lot of things going on when we trying to make this point about what she did versus the father. I don't even know if this is a good case for that, considering all the things that's added to it. Because I mean, I'm agreeing with you on this. If I see my son in that situation, I don't think I'm gonna have time to be rational, because I know what the chances are. I know what the outcome is really, really possibly going to be if I don't try to hurry up and just do anything that I can come up with, So I don't know, man. But him shooting the Fox News, that's a whole different conversation. That probably need to be had. Why was it Fox News? And if it was for what we think it was,
You know
And
what?
that says a lot about Fox News
Wait
and
a
our
minute.
relationship with.
Let me say this. I'm gonna put you on you guys on mute so there's no echo. You know, Marcus, I hear what you're saying, but if it was I don't know, the worst man in the world's news station, I don't think he had a right or justification for doing it, because at the end of the day, I mean, Fox News is a very white supremacist news organization. So you definitely not going to get away with that. And in regards to who it is, there's no justification for him to shoot into or, try to the news station. Fox News, they say some problematic things. I don't watch Fox News because they own that stuff, right? Hey, Common Man, how you doing? And Beauty Essence, you can click the link if you want. He soundly says he's a baby daddy at best. Stop calling him a father. That's offensive to real fathers. Well, to be honest, we don't know what his situation is. As far as what kind of father he is or was. He showed up at the scene of his child to try to get him to come out before something happens to him. And so we're going to call him a father until further notice. He did his job in making sure that his son got, was unharmed. So I don't have a problem calling him a father, because the other thing is true. We can say the same thing for women. There's a lot of women out there that should not be called mothers. They should be called, baby mamas or whatever the case is. So we kind of like an equal opportunity show over here. Corliss, what you got to say? Hey, Ollie.
So do you guys remember few years back where the boy was out looting and the mother saw the boy out there and she went and whooped his ass on national TV, and we all black folks had something to say? Oh, we're going to call CPS. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to do that. And you were taken back and appalled. But when they kill your kids, then you be out there holding up a Black Lives Matter sign. And that's what I said, like, as far as parents, I don't even think a lot of these people, I want kids, people, whatever they are, make conscious choices. Once again, they make, like Marcus said, an in the moment choice. And they doing more pill popping, syrup and drinking. So when they do come to themselves, half of them might not even know who the damn daddy is, or they baby mamas, or it might have been a few of them. So it's the choices at the end of the day. Well, now I can't say all states have a choice, but I damn sure know California got a choice. You get pregnant and you don't want no kid, they gonna cross them state lines, and guess where they gonna be? At the clinic, because it's still illegal here. But you have to make conscious decisions on getting past the representatives and the butterflies and oh, he make me feel, or oh, she make me feel, to see who you really dealing with. Because at the end of the day, when you first meet somebody, and I tell everybody this, and baby, if ain't nobody learned it better than me, I know what these damn representatives look like, and they look real good in the beginning. You might have to get to year 3. Some of the representatives, y'all, be until you've been with them for 30 years and you still don't know the person you sleeping with, and you still sleeping with the damn enemy.
That is true. And I agree with Common Man. So yeah, the young guy, he wasn't looting. He was out there protesting. I forget exactly what the protest was about. I think it's somebody got shot or something. Yeah, he was out there protesting, and the mom showed up and kind of whopped him upside of his head and dragged him out of there. That was actually that particular situation. There was a lot of people on both sides of the argument. She got a lot of people cheering her on. Oh, she's a good mom. She's a good mom, and all that stuff. But then once the cameras were off, it sounds like she was just kind of left high and dry. And Dusty Hotep, how you doing? I want to put your comment up here. You said the misandry is unmatched in Black women. So, I guess it's the opposite of misogyny in men. Basically saying that, I guess what you're saying is that Black women are feel a certain type of way negatively about Black men. I mean, I don't know. I guess that argument could be made on both sides. But it's always going to be about personal responsibility. We all have to take control of what it is that we do, and the decisions we make. We have to own them. I personally have a problem with people who are always blaming other people for the lives that they made for themselves. My mom used to always say, we are where we are because we want to be, regardless if you in a moment consciously like, oh, I don't really want to be here. I'm having a hard life. You know, I don't want to live here. I don't want to drive this car. I don't want to do that. Subconsciously, you got to ask yourself, what? Oh, I mean, I'll put this on mute. Subconsciously, we have to ask ourselves, what am I really doing to be here? You know what I mean? Or whether you're with somebody you don't want to be with, you're like, oh, I wish I could leave, but I can't. Yeah, you could leave. You just, need to make the choice to do it. So whatever. So we all have a role to play in the lives that we are living, whether we like it or not. Now, there's some other circumstances that kind of make it hard for us to leave whatever life we're leaving, but we still have a choice at the end of the day. So it's about personal responsibility, from what I can see. 2 cents. You also said this. Technically, men have no control over a woman's body. Offspring is a part of the woman's body. So I totally agree. Nobody has any control over anybody else's body per se. So offspring is a part of the woman's body. That is true, but she did not get that offspring in her body by herself unless her name is Mary and she gave birth to Jesus. I'm just, that's what they tell me anyway. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. However, she didn't get that way by herself. It's personal responsibility. Marcus?
I want to say this. I got a cousin of mine. I ain't gonna say her name or nothing in case somebody know her. I got a cousin of mine. She came to visit her grandmother to finish her college in that town. She got a job. Immediately she got the job. I got her a job working with me. Immediately she got the job. I mean, because of the blueprint of how things happen, soon as I saw the other kid that was her age walk in the building, I knew what the problem was right then. I went to her and I said, look, you can't do that. I say he just as jacked up as you are. He's just as spoiled as you are. If y'all mess around and start talking to each other and get a baby, neither one of y'all are going to be able to take care of it because y'all too selfish. She like, what are you talking about? I said, I saw your face. And I did. I went and told him, I said, dude, you are not built to take care of baby. And on this side of the family, if you get her pregnant, we gonna give you hell till you start taking care of that baby. Do you really want that? Said the same thing to me. I ain't even looking at her. A week go by, she stopped going home right after work. My auntie called me. You seen her? I said, I know where she at. Went over there and knocked the door. Knocked on the door. I told him, I said, tell her to come on so I can take her home. Her grandma looking for her. She go home. And just to make it a shorter story, she was pregnant in the time that I was telling her not to get pregnant. A few weeks later, I was like, y'all already hanging out together. I said, don't get pregnant. She was already pregnant. And she swore up and down, we ain't doing nothing. We just hang out and watch movies. Now, here's the problem. She didn't take the time to think nothing through. It was all just shits and giggles until they got to his house. They playing around, they joking, they had sex. She got pregnant. Nobody did nothing to prevent it. Then she wound up living with him. I told her again, I said, look, this is not going to work. You already one baby in. If you live with him, you'll be 2 babies in real fast. No, we just gonna see, I said, okay. And I told him the same thing. I said, dude, you ain't built to take care of the first one. Why you gonna make 2? Man, why don't you worry about your business? I'm a grown man, blah, blah, blah. They got 2. Get to the end of it. They wound up with 4 kids. They just had another baby last year. He's in my hometown. She's in Georgia. They don't even know each other no more. But it was a careless act. It was no thought. And when you saw what he put you through from baby 1 to baby 2, you still carelessly stayed there and kept going. And you didn't even really like the dude. But you did not take a minute to say, you know what? Let me think about what keeps happening here and what it's going to do to my life and what the long-term effects are. Never thought about it. And you see it so much.
Brother, I hear what you're saying, but again, yes, she sounds like she's on the silly side. I'm not saying that she's not, but she didn't have those babies by herself. I mean, I'm just saying, because I like when I don't know, I just like, I'm never going to blame one side or the other, because I know, as I said, y'all go to church, unless your name is Mary, then you did.
Not to cut you off.
Wait.
But where the baby's at?
Where
the baby's at?
Huh? You said where the baby's at?
I said, where the baby's at?
Well, you said, where are the babies?
Yeah.
Whose babies?
Her babies. My cousin babies.
Ain't they with her?
All of them with her.
Right. Okay. So again, I'm not saying she's not silly for procreating with somebody that, was not serious, but he kept dropping his seed up off in her, knowing he wasn't going to take care of him either. So again, it's both people. I get it. My daughter's 30. She don't have any children, because I have had a copious amount of conversations with her about listen, and I say this a lot. Don't tell me about no baby shower unless you tell me about a bridal shower. I want to meet my son-in-law before I meet my grandchildren. That's just me, right? Because I didn't do it that way either. I was 21 years old. I'm married to her father, so I'm not saying I did it right, or, some people, however you want to see it. I wasn't married either. But at the same time, I think the teaching goes both ways. Men, if you're not taking care of those babies, stop helping to make the babies. Just like y'all got all this full-throated admonishment for the women that's laying down with these lackluster brusters, y'all should also have that same energy for the men. And this is what I always say too. I'm about tired. I swear for God and all 12 disciples, I'm about tired of seeing you Negroes on the internet. Y'all making a bag off of telling women how to be women and what the I'm like, if these Negroes would spend half of that energy talking to their gender about being better men, they wouldn't need to talk to the women as much. And I agree, the women should spend more time talking to the women. But y'all, and I always say this, y'all always talk about how we as women can't tell y'all how to be men. Well, how all of a sudden y'all could tell us how to be women? I ain't never in my life seen so many men tell a woman how to be a woman. I'm like, pretty soon y'all gonna be telling us how to put on pantyhose the right way. I'm just
historically, men have always done that historically. But let me ask you this question:
I've done what?
Told women how to be women. Historically, men have always done it.
But let me ask you this: how can you historically tell us how? So wait a minute. Okay, see, I'm about to spin around this chair. See, this is what happens when you talk too much. So if y'all historically have been telling women how to be women, then is it y'all fault that we ain't doing what y'all want us to do?
No, because you guys have rebelled against the what is it, paternity, the man's society. That's where we're at today. You've got Christians. Wait. You've got whole Christians that say women should do this, women should do that. But you believe in a Bible, and I'm a Catholic, and that's the way God set it up. So either you're for God or you're against God. Obviously, in my belief, you're against God, because that's the way it was set up. Show me anywhere in the world where there's a maternal society. The women control everything. It's never been done. Those are the facts. But anyway, I want to ask you this question, D. You have your daughter, and that's great. But let me ask you this. Your daughter has 30 years old. You've had relationships. Why didn't you have any more children?
I didn't have any more children, and I say it's just me. I did not want to have a copious amount of other fathers as, the children of a father of my children. That was just me, right?
Right. But what did you do to prevent that?
I was cautious, but I want to say this as well. I was always one of those people who said I didn't want any children, and I had one, right? But I also say too that I have the privilege of raising 3 of my nieces and nephews. So, I have biologically had 1 child, but I really have 4 for a very long time. So that was just a personal choice of mine.
Yeah.
But that was it was my choice. I can't.
But see that's my point. You did and took whatever precautions you need to not to bring additional children here as a woman. That's what you decided to do. So if you can do it, how come these other women can't seem to do it? Yes, somebody said something about the fertile soil. Okay, you've got the fertile soil. Men are doing what they need to do. Why are these women, and I get it, there are women that have birth control, births and all this other stuff, but that's a small number. You have gone on for 30 years and not have any additional children because you took the precautions. My question is, men have a certain aspect of what they can do. Women have an aspect of what they can do. You didn't have any more children. My mother, after my father passed and she became a widow, she didn't have any more children because she took the proper precautions.
So can I say something, y'all?
Yeah.
So what you said is very true. Okay. We take precaution, but in this society, once we raise our kids, like I said, I have 4 girls. Okay. My girls only have 1 kid. 1. My daughter that has my youngest grandson, well, not the youngest, my second youngest grandson, she already said if she cannot have another child or she's not married to the next person that she has a child by, she will only have a child by her child's father. She won't go outside of that. Okay, so that's a conscious choice. But for these young girls, the majority of the time, Donovan, they're not being raised. They're being partnered. Their parents don't teach them anything. They mamas out twerking, jerking, and sucking and screwing with them. You understand what I'm saying? I'm serious because we see it. We see it, and we're in a very sad generation to where they're not teaching their kids. My family would get mad at me because I talk to my kids how their friends talk to them. Because at the end of the day, you're going to get that. If I sit down and try to teach you the birds and the bees, how well did the birds and the bees work for us? Because they was lying to us. Right. So until we're taught or we're teaching this generation that don't want to get taught, they're going to continue. Now, Marcus, you said something. You said they got 4 kids. They was living together, and where are the babies, right? Well, right. When I grew up, the saying was mama's babies, daddy's maybes.
I'll say this right here. She asked the question. She said she keeps saying accountability on both parts. I will say this right now. For the men, there is not real accountability because those kids are with her. Now, is he gonna struggle with child support? Yeah. But do he still get to go and live his life on his own terms? Yeah. Do he still get to go and do this to somebody else? Do he get to go into another relationship? Do he get to go back to being a player? He gets to do all of those things. So the consequences are not the same. The consequences are not the same. The struggle's not the same. The suffering is not the same. She got 4 babies, and now she's trying to find a new relationship. She's trying to find a good man. This dude got 4 babies that don't nobody see. He can go right now and find a good relationship with a good woman, and he can tell I got 4 babies. They live in Georgia. You think she gonna worry about them 4 babies in Georgia? No, cause he here. Now that girl in Georgia, 4 babies. Wherever she go to find a relationship, it's 4 babies there.
But guess what? It's some single men out here that's raising some sorry ass broads kids. So it works both ways. Yeah, it works both ways. All these kids all the time are not just raised by single mothers. What about the men that step up to the plate and raise their children? There are some men out there that do it. There are a bunch of sorry ass women out here that do not raise their children. They get up and they leave their kids because guess what? Oh, I want this lifestyle over here, and I don't want no kids at the end of the day. So everybody can make a bad choice. The choice is yours ultimately after what you're going to do. Like I said, I did it. I did it with 7 by myself.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, okay.
Let me let our son jump in there. How you doing? Let me unmute you. There you go. How you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
Well, I'm doing well.
All right. Just real quick. Now I'm forgetting my points because you guys said so much more stuff in between. But anyway, I was just gonna say, Well, we don't have Black America this week. We have another one here. I can't see the name here. Marcus. Okay.
Marcus.
The thing is, when we go, and maybe I misunderstood. It's possible I might have misunderstood the message, but going around explaining that we were pregnant because in the heat of the moment it was, and all of that stuff, and like, it's not a solution. It's like pretty much justifying how what happened. Like you're saying the why, but after one time, two times, it's like at some point we got to become accountable for what we do, right? Which brings me to something. Which brings me back, takes me back to you, Dimitra. I love you guys, Trey. I love you and Donovan all the time and everything, right? Okay, but Dimitra, I know that both are responsible, both parties are, but you need to get something. It's not the same level of consequences on either side. It's like you really need to get that. This is like me. You know what this reminds me of? Where I live, there are certain places where we drive, right? I don't know if they got those in the States, but some street corners are like reserved for pedestrians first, like priority pedestrians, right? So the thing is, you'll catch some people literally walking, still crossing the street, telling themselves that, oh, the car's not allowed to hit me anyway, because I'm supposed to be in the right way. But the thing is that if there's a mistake that happens, if an accident happens, it's like the person in the car, it may be their fault, yeah. But the damage, though, will be, in my opinion, much worse on whoever was walking than whoever was in the car, So it's just to you, Dimitri, because you like to say that, and I know I understand that. I fully understand you. I agree with you. But the consequences, once again, they're going to be totally different, okay? So I was gonna say like something else, but I forgot once again, as usual. Like my head's all over the place. I'm sorry, and I apologize about before. I had to go outside. I saw like I'm sorry. So I'm all over the place. You guys said a lot of
what
things.
Dimitri and I do. Always have a pen and paper, and you take your notes.
You know what, Donovan? For next time, I'm gonna do it. Actually, I'm gonna do it for next time because I heard a lot of things that made me go like. But I had to keep like my priorities straight, and I was like, you know what? Okay. Now we got a new Black America this week. Okay, I got like reminder of that. Not everybody's like that. Okay, and then for Dimitra, it's like Dimitra understand that it's two people's responsibilities, but I really needed that to get across. Like women, most responsibility is going to be on the women. And just one question also about the video because I only saw it like the other half, Donovan or Dimitra, whichever. Was she like blaming the absence of the father? Or was she just maybe very emotional on the point? Maybe she was just blabbering too much and then the media took advantage of that. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if she really meant to, if she intended to throw a logo their ways. I was just asking. I don't know. I was just asking.
To the last question, I believe it was probably a little both. She was blaming sounds like the absence of the father, even though it looked like he showed up. So I think a lot of it was emotional too. But I just want to simply ask y'all, when on this program or any other program did I say the consequences were not the same? I mean, were the same for men and women. I never once said that. I know, as Corley said, mama's baby, daddy's baby, which is why I got one. Even though my daughter's father, I'm just saying, even though my daughter's father was involved in her life, I took care of her most of the time, right? I had to enroll her in school, take her to the doctor, and all those other things. So I get it. I know the responsibility is more on the mother. So I never said that the consequences were different. But again, since we want to go in that vein, I think that we should, because it's a saying as old as time. I mean, we learned it from our grandmamas, right? Mama's baby, daddy's baby. So it's been that way for a very long time. But at some point, I think we need to start changing the message and say, if you lay down with that young woman, then it's your baby too, right? Because I remember a long time ago when me and Donovan first started doing this show, we would get into a little bit of back and forth about the mama's baby, daddy's maybe conversation, because oftentimes, I don't want to, well, let's just say in our community, because I don't really know about any other community, a lot of times the Black mamas will say, how you know it's your baby? Or somebody in his family, how you know it's your baby? Instead of saying, son, did you lay down with her once? Well, yeah, then it's your baby until further notice, right? Until you get the DNA test to say that is not yours. I'm not going to enable you to be a deadbeat, right? That's the conversation you start having. Or son, if you lay down with her, you know there's a large possibility that she could get pregnant. You know that, right? Yeah, okay, I'm just letting you know. If you knock her up, you should be there just as responsible for the life of that child too. So we need to get rid of that whole mama's baby, daddy's baby, because I mean, like, we really teach that as if we really teaching something. All we're really saying is the mama, you gonna be more responsible, and the daddy could shirk his responsibilities and run off and keep doing it over and over again instead of somebody kicking him square up in his backside and saying, you start creating all these babies you don't intend on taking care of. That's the conversation we should be having on both sides. Because
not my son.
But that's what happens though, because that mama's baby, daddy's baby, that's an admonishment to the woman. That's not an admonishment to the man. That's saying, man, we know you gonna do what you do. Papa was a role and stuff. Like, he gets that, but the woman is like basically saying, you're the fool. You're the fool for, you know what I'm saying? So, but it should be more even. Y'all make the child, y'all take care of the child. It's just that simple. Like, for real.
I agree. It should, but that's the thing. But I think I wrote that in all the chat too. It should be like that. But we both like it should be until it is like it should be the way you say. But like I said, like, because a lot of women, at least on my side, from what I've seen, like a lot of times they gonna deal with who they know are, like, you guys call them pookies, I guess, or ray rays, whatever. They know they're like that. They knew it before. They still want to, because you already know that Pookie doesn't care, but they still go and sleep with them and then play a victim later, you know? So I've seen a lot of those.
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. There's women that, you know, for whatever reasons, the Pookies are more exciting. I don't know, you know. But I always say this too. Let me just go on and tell y'all this. Unbeknownst to y'all, there's a lot of other Pookies out there that y'all don't know about. See, like, when we think of Pookies, we think we know a Pookie, right? When we see him, he's sagging, he's a street hustler and all this other stuff. But there's some white Pookies. There's some some white collar Pookies. Pookies coming on.
Leave Joe Biden's son alone. Leave him alone.
No, I'm just saying Pookies come in all shades, colors, shapes, that, you know, income brackets and all kinds. So Pookies are all over. But again, I get it. There's some women who get down with Pookie, but what about the people who raising the Pookies?
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying. In Black America, I saw what you said about my daughter. Click the link, homie. Click the link.
Wait. Is that our Black America?
That's our Black America. I'm waiting. Well, he must be doing something. I want him to click the link, calling my baby an old maid. Click the link.
You guys, I was going to say, as a disclaimer, any actions taken by Demetra K on the Demetra K Show is Demetra.
Right.
Let me say, I'm gonna say Mr. Barr. I don't want to mess your first name up. To say, if y'all can put your mics on mute so we don't have a back, what do you call it, echo. Say, when I was a child, my daddy told me, son, no matter how good the music sounds or how much fun the party is, never be ashamed to make an early exit. No child support here. Exactly. And I always say, ask yourself two questions, gentlemen. Do I see myself with her? You know, do I want to marry her? Nah, zip your pants up and get on. If I get her pregnant, will I be willing and happy to pay child support for 18 to 22 years? Because you got to pay college sometimes. If the answer is no, zip your pants up and go on out the door. I mean, honestly, I know Black America be with it. Oh, it feels good and all that other stuff. But I mean, that is so lame. It is so lame to me. It really is.
So, you know my story, so.
Jay the informant. I let me see. Was that you that's trying to say something? Jay, jump on in there. You've been sitting patiently.
No. You guys you're having a great conversation. I was going to ask a ridiculous question, but a funny question. So, are you saying that we should bring back shotgun weddings?
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, if that's what it's going to take to make these men stand up to their responsibilities and what they need to do to make that woman an honest woman, yes, do it. You know, if need be. I mean, because at the rate we're going, is it going to get any worse? Yes.
Sorry, question quick, please.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead, Arsenal.
Yeah, I know, but I just what's a shotgun wedding?
That's you got my baby pregnant. Clack clack.
Right.
Let's
Okay.
go
That's
hop
what.
over
Okay.
the broom. Yeah, that's what that
That's what
is.
I figured. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I figured.
we need more of those. And you know who was in control of the holding the shotgun? The daddy.
Father. Yeah.
Yep, you
Father,
got my
obviously.
baby. You got my baby in the family's way. Great. Now she's taking your last name and you finna go on and take care of her. And trust me, there was a lot of shotgun weddings that happened. And the man probably was at the bar after work. Man, I'm married to this old bird. I don't want to be with her. But her daddy kind of threatened to kill me, right? He just sucked it up. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And you also got to remember that the baby boomer generation, they really rebelled against a lot of the tradition that they were taught. Remember, that's when the free love happened. That's when, you saw the rates of non-marriage going up. People were not getting married. They were on drugs. They were just having free love and just sex and money and just all that stuff. And I mean, that was the pivotal generation that really bucked tradition of what was normal at the time. They went a total 180 in the other direction. Mm-hmm. And then here we are today, because Demetra and I, well, not me, because Demetra's a millennial. Me being a Generation Xer, I'm the product of that old school, new school type stuff. But just like I was telling a person in the comments there, I really saw these people just shuck a lot of their responsibilities when it comes to family, support, all that stuff. That was that generation. That was the pivotal point in America that really shifted a lot of things to where we're at today.
Black America, how you doing today?
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today?
Fabulous.
Good. So I just been in the comments, and it's a good conversation. I think everybody is missing the point. So I'm gonna ask just you, Miss Demetra, what would happen to a woman if she got pregnant in the 1500s? What would happen to her if she got pregnant in the 1500s without a man? What would happen to her?
Well, I know a little bit about it. I've watched the Scarlet Letter per se, but that was kind of her kind of being with somebody else's man. She would be considered, and it depends on where you're talking, but she would be considered like a dirty woman, a defiled woman per se, damaged goods. It depends on where she was. I mean, she could, face some consequences, and that's even today in a lot of other countries. A woman that's unwed and pregnant, she could be stoned to death in a lot of places. So, I mean, it just depends.
So that's my point exactly. Our women have no consequences or repercussions for anything that they do. So, hold on. So a woman can do and say and loud talk and be smirch and be mean and nasty and cruel, and you can't go upside her head. They're not going to take her out and stone her. So without any consequences, the women can now do whatever they want to do. And us as men, because you guys have rights, and us as men, we can't do anything. The only thing that we can do is walk away, because we can't beat you guys into submission. If we could beat you guys into submission, then it would be great. But we can't beat you guys into submission. Only thing, you have too many men that have your back, to where that men that want to step up and actually do something. The young lady was saying something about her son and his baby mama being nasty. You have too many men that have gave these women so much power. It's nothing that anybody can do. As far as the men, you women can't even tell other women what to do now, because they don't give a shit.
You've rendered us all speechless, my brother.
I would say that's excessive.
Then you sound like a simp, and not in a mean way. I'm not trying to be mean, but if you have kids and you have no way of disciplining them, bro, I got a bunch of kids, and I'll tell you what, All my kids, except for my 5-year-old, have graduated. They've either went to the military or college, and they're doing very well.
So you
Very
think,
well.
so you think we should go back to where you can stone a woman for talking too much?
It would be an eye opener.
It
I'm gonna
works in
tell you this.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, it would be an eye opener for women. Women wouldn't, if you don't have the gravitas, if you don't have a bunch of people behind you agreeing with you, with your hot girl summer and all of that stuff, and you have some actual consequences to what you're doing, then yes, it needs to be something. But as of right now, there will be nothing.
Can I say something?
Please.
So I feel like a lot of people are lazy and they don't want to work as hard as they need to. So I said we get out the whips.
You said the whips?
The whips. Because that's some old time stuff right there. You want to stone a woman to death? That don't make any sense, man.
I didn't say that I want. What I said is there are no consequences to what women do, bro. So
Yeah.
you could have, let's say you have a woman rob a bank, right? And you have a man rob a bank. The woman will get 3 years, the man will get 10 to 12 years. The consequences and the things that we face is completely different. Do you see that at all?
What state do you live in? Because I need to ask that question. What state do you live in where women don't get consequences? Because I can guarantee you, pull your ass up out here in California and a black bar rob a bank, I guarantee you her ass gonna get as much time as that Negro. So what's
Marjorie Hardy? She didn't take the rap, and Marjorie Hardy walked out free. No,
I'm from 35th and Normandy. I live in Vegas right now. You know where 35th and Normandy is at, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. HC30 all day. But I live in Vegas right now. So if I see you can see it. The amount of time that a woman gets for doing something and the amount of time that a man gets for doing something. But it's not just that. It's okay, what about child paternity? What about all these women saying that men raped them, and then you find out that the man didn't rape them, and the man been in prison for 10 years? The woman don't get no time for that. Demetra, something that was very near and dear to your heart, Emmett Till. I didn't care about him because he wasn't part of my family, and it was so long ago. But I understand that you cared about him, Emmett Till. That lady said that he whistled at her, whatever. He got killed, and there was no repercussions for her. You see what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Let me hop in.
I got a question for you, brother.
All right, hold on. Okay, hold on a second. Let's go Marcus, Corliss, then Jay.
Okay, now, I hear what you say about the women. I'm curious. What's your view on what should be done to a man who has already made 3 kids that he's not going to take care of, and he goes out and carelessly makes another kid that he's not going to take care of? Now, what do you do to him when you know that's his MO? That's his full MO is to make babies that he's not going to take care of. What do you do?
Okay, you strip that man of everything. Child support does a pretty good job of that. If you can't eat and you can't work and you can't drive, you have no place to live. Put him in the coal mine. Put him to work every day. Like I don't have a problem with men working until the day we die. Hell, I've been working since I was 8 years old. So I don't have a problem with men working until the day we die to take care of your responsibilities. But let's make sure that all of the kids are his and we move accordingly. So does that satisfy you?
Let me ask this. So should somebody make that man take care and be in the life of that child? I ain't talking about child support, like he makes the child and he pays the child support. He never sees the child again. Should somebody enforce that he stays in the life of that child?
You know what to be the best thing? I'm gonna tell you to be the best thing. Stop giving these women any kind of incentives,
That
which
ain't the
means
question. That ain't the
hold
question,
on,
brother.
hold on. Let me get to the end. It's only gonna take about 20 seconds. Stop giving the women's any kind of incentives, any kind of help or anything. And when the child comes out and it is deemed that it is the father's child, give said child to the father to take care of.
Did that you did a Donovan on me. You two-stepped over the question. I said, should that man be made to stay in the life of that child?
No, that man should be made to take his kid and that kid be with him at all times. Just like the man was talking about, the mother is the one that has to take care of the kid. That kid should be the sole responsibility of the man, because more than likely it's a man who's going to make more money. More than likely it's a man that's going to work to provide for the kid. So that kid should be the sole responsibility of the man.
You know what? Great. I love it. Let's start a bill. Corliss.
I'm speechless because I'm taken aback. I am taken all the way back. And Lord have mercy. Yeah. I got to recoup on that one because what era are we living in? Like, what part of slavery mentality was
Cordless. Hold on. And I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what I'm talking about right there. We have came so far, and you guys have been so entitled, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you guys, as women, you don't have the capacity to govern yourself, just like children don't have the capacity to govern themselves. So yes, you can as women, and us men agree with it. You can do whatever you want to do now. So with you guys being able to do whatever you want to do, it has consequences to it. It turns those men that are going around, you know, the brother had asked you a question earlier when you guys was talking, and he asked you the wrong question. He was being nice about it. I'm not that nice. My question to you is, you got 7 kids. How many kids do your men have besides the 7 that they have? You understand what I'm saying? So if you have 7 kids and each one and you got maybe 2 baby daddies, right? How many other kids do they have with other women?
They have my youngest set of children. Their dad has 5 children other than mine. My older son, his father has 2 other sons, one with mine being in the middle and one with mine being after the fact. And my third baby's father has 2 children. My daughter, which is the oldest, and a younger son.
Okay, so with that being said, we have to go back to what everybody is saying. It is a certain percentage of men, a very small percentage of men that's going around and having the kids, because I think that comes up to about 20 kids between 3 men. Is that about right?
Black America, you got a lot of noise in your background, dear brother. So maybe when you get somewhere a little bit quiet, we can hear you better, but it's kind of hard to hear you. Brother Don, how are you?
Hello, Sister Demetra. You know
Hello.
I'm about to come in. I sent you a message.
Okay.
You know I'm about to come in with this. Somebody did a video this week. It might have been Brother Phil. And it had the historic footage from the 70s. You know, after we got civil rights, after we couldn't be denied things, after we were included, well, it came with strings. And in this historic footage, they told you and they showed you how they were going to systematically destroy the Black family. And that leads us to where we are today. We need to stop pointing the fingers at one another and point it at the real accuser, the real actor. This character, this individual goes around the world and does the same damn thing in countries. Causes dissension, gets the people to fight amongst one another so they can carry out their agenda. Their agenda was to get us doing exactly what we're doing right now. Pointing the fingers at one another and coming at one another instead of resolving the issue. In the 80s, when we started to have Black pride and Black love for one another, what did they do? They conspired against us and turned the entertainment and all that stuff into negatives. Now we weren't talking about Black love anymore. We're talking about killing one another on the street. We're talking about our women being ratchet and nasty. Foxy Brown, Lil' Kim. They destroyed us. We need to point the fingers back at them, and we need to come back into a righteous stance where we treat each other with respect, and they're still destroying us today. Look at the degradation of our entertainment. We don't need to be pointing our fingers at one another. We need to be we can destroy them. All we got to do is what we did to Adidas. That's all we got to do. We can bring these people to their knees. But we've got to come up with solutions for ourselves because we are doing what they want us to do. Destroy one another. And see, they got this whole masculine mindset with our women. And this is why our women are behaving exactly the way they're behaving. Our families in the 50s looked a whole lot different than they do today. I know, I'm a product of a single parent family. Okay? I was born in 64. My mother had 5 other children. And I'll say it's just like this. 3 of us are bastards. Because my mother was looking for something she couldn't find. And that was love, because they destroyed the Black man. And if you guys don't understand that, you are missing it. The majority of Black men were destroyed in this country, emotionally and economically. That little girl on the Breakfast Club was talking smack about Black men. How she wouldn't, a Black man who drove a bus, she wouldn't date the man unless she owned the bus. That's the Black woman's attitude, because the white man gives me a job.
Yeah.
And when I go into those corporations, guess who I see in there? I see Black women, but I don't see no Black men. You understand how they make us look undesirable?
Brother Don, I you know what? You want the money. I'm in my opinion, I ain't nobody. So, you know, in my opinion, you're on the money about 90%. Yes, I said it, Donovan. I said it. 90%, but I got to be with my dear brother Common Man 80 here. And I agree. You know, white supremacy, institutional, systemic racism, yes, they are the culprit. But he says we destroyed us, drank the Kool-Aid and liked it. Let's be real here. I mean, we by now I think we are past the age of knowing. We know those things. We know white supremacy has been there to set us up, trip us up, degrade our community and all those other things. But why do we keep falling into it, right? I am not going to, as I always said, especially nowadays with some of the music and stuff they got going on, I wouldn't sit my child in front of nothing and let her listen to no Cardi, Megan Thee Stallion, none of these dudes that's talking about that kind of stuff. But see, the problem is, especially with our children, we allow them to be on these apps, these, you know, phones and computers, and They're learning all the TikTok dances, talking about some WAP and all this other stuff, and you have no earthly clue as to what your children are ingesting. And so whose fault is that really? We know they put that stuff out there. If you allowing your children to be a part of that's kind of on you. And at some point in time, we need to start picking up books, log off the internet and start going to get some real knowledge for ourselves, right? As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, let me finish. We need to get knowledge of self. We need to do for self. See, we got to stop blaming the white man, even though we know, hell, we know that he's probably responsible for most of the things that go on with us. But at some point in time, yes, and y'all should read that book and read it repeatedly. You know, I don't have mine in here, but it's outlined a lot. But at some point in time, we got to put the onus on us. And we've been having a conversation about personal responsibility. At what point do we say, we know the devil's out there, we know the devil is busy, and we know who the devil is? But when are we going to start saying, okay, well, y'all go to church, what does the Bible say about the devil? Resist the devil and he shall flee from you, right? Resist all the things that he's putting out there. Turn the damn TV off. Stop letting the children listen to a whole bunch of, nonsense and all that other stuff. So I hear what you're saying, Brother Don, but at the same time, and then so as far as Black women not wanting to date the bus driver, that's a lie. I've dated a lot of men that wasn't even making as much as a bus driver was making. But I tell you what, I'm like, all right, boo, let's do this. We gonna build or whatever. You know what that Negro or them Negroes still did? Tricked off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at some point.
He was from Chicago. He was from Chicago.
They was from Chicago. They was from California. They was from Texas. They was from Mars. They was from hell. They was from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They was from the church. They was from everywhere. So the point, let me finish, Marcus. So the point that I'm saying is, y'all keep wanting to say Black women don't want to deal with Black men who ain't the owner of the bus. That's a lie. I know a lot of my good sisters have been with a man that wasn't making as much money as her or whatever, but she was like, okay, we can do this. But yet he wanted to go hop off in everybody else's bed. So stop putting the blame on women like we just don't want to be with a man who ain't making six figures. Like I said, if he can take care of himself, I'm good.
Well, my point is this. Yes, we know what the mastation is in our body, and we need to cut it out. So we need to come up with solutions on how we are going to repair the damage if we're going to move forward as a race. And that's really what it is. And listen, we've been programmed for 2.5 generations to reach this outcome that we are dealing with today. And when you understand the bigger picture of what's going on here, they want you to produce children that behave exactly the way they're behaving so that they can keep their system of slavery going. And if you don't understand that, then you miss the whole point. You are responsible for your children. You are responsible for the children you bring into this world and the way you raise them. But I understand there is predictive programming that has gone on with our people, starting with Christianity and then all this other crap they brought in, Islam and all that other stuff, okay? Because it's all lies, and all that was set up to do was to program us to move according to their program. So we need to really look at where we are as a people. Why do we hate each other like this?
Well, we know why we hate each other like this. Yeah, we know why we hate each other, because we were, like you said, we were programmed to hate each other, but we know that. So at what point in time did we just start, like you said, stop hating each other? Like the hate is real in our community, whether it's, and I say this all the time, nobody hates a Black woman like a Black woman, because we talk about how the Black man in the world don't like Black women, but we do the same stuff to each other, and we don't bat an eye about doing it. So as I tell y'all, like I tell Donovan, I'm a Black woman. Y'all can't tell me how to be no Black woman. I know the stuff we do to each other, but at the same time, we need to stop doing it. Like, we need to get rid of the self-hate, because that's what it is. If I hate you, it's because I hate myself. It's just that simple. Marcus, I seen you put your finger up. What's up, Marcus?
I want to say, well, look at it this way. We're talking about why we don't have 2-parent homes for Black children. We're talking about why it's a 70% single home for Black women and their children now. Think about this. when you look at and I don't know how this is gonna go across, but I know it's actually true. When you look at who you're asking to go into those homes, you're asking man, child to go in there and be a grown man every day. But remember,
child. Now, man, child is
the same person that if you tell him I don't want to talk to you, he's waiting outside the club to hit you and be violent towards you because I don't want to talk to you. Man, child is in 2023 doing what we started in somewhere around 1993 with your pants still under your ass. Man, child, still go out and get a weapon, go hurt somebody with it, and find out that same weapon that he used to hurt somebody got other bodies on it that he don't even know about. But it's still the same MO. My thing is this right here, and we're talking about changing something, and we're talking about changing us. Some things are simply just got to become unacceptable. Wearing your pants under your ass, it can't become a conversation. It can't become a debate. It's got to become unacceptable. Your behavior toward women, your behavior toward children. I think the reason when you talk about the accountability of men and women, we cool with brothers out here that don't take care of their kids. A lot of us, we laugh it out with them and we still call them our boys. You need to be ostracized from the community if you got black babies running around here and you don't take care of them. But we don't do that. We still work with them. We still deal with them. We still cool with them. You know, so if we're really, really going to do anything, there's some things that just got to become unacceptable. You're talking about our music. You're talking about how we carry ourselves. The other day, and I still scratch my head to this day because I understand as a single parent, you can't watch everything. But I saw a couple of young ladies that were way under the age of 18. And I mean, it's kind of like, how do you even, and I know we go maybe somewhere and change our clothes, but why is it so okay within the community that don't nobody even say anymore, girl, put your pants on? Most dudes, they'll say, well, when she get 18, I hope I'm still young enough to try or something, you know. That's the attitude. We don't care. And it's okay. We cool with that. A guy will say that about a young lady, and the dude standing next to him will joke it off with him, and then go home and say, well, you know, so-and-so can't come over here. But you didn't check him on it. You didn't call him on it. You didn't tell him, dude, this is our last conversation. You know? So if we really, really want to talk about getting to that next step and maybe getting back to where, you know, being married is cool, raising a family is cool, that's where the real respect is versus being a hoe who can go out and continue to be a hoe. You know, on both sides. You know?
Absolutely.
I think we got a better chance of fighting that fight than we got a fight in the fight that's in front of it right now. We can win that fight.
I totally agree with you. I mean, we need to start, you know, and within our own homes, fighting hard for casual reparation, also known as. Michael, what do you have to say quickly? We're going to get out of here in just a minute.
Yes. Okay. It's going to be very quick. I'm going to read very fast. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. So I was watching a podcast. So it's going to go a little off topic, but it's related to Philip Scott, what you guys fighting for reparations. So it's going very clear. It's talking about so Philip Scott was talking about how Piers Morgan was against cash reparations, and he asked his sister, who's from England, why should I make the case for reparations? It's not going to change racism. So I'm going to read this quick. So I was debating a guy who's against reparations. He happens to be Asian American. So this is his comment, and then I offer my rebuttal. He said, nobody should be owing nobody nothing. Get up every day, work hard, give back to others, pay it forward, and show love. Life really isn't that hard here in America. People spend too much time and energy at acting like someone owed them something. And this is my rebuttal, and it's very quick. I said, working hard and giving back to others are not going to solve racism and white supremacy. Ignoring the real American history will not set you free. You don't understand that not all black people are treated equally under the law. Being against caste reparations for ADOS makes you ignorant and racist. Black American descendants of slavery built this country from bottom to top. They help everyone to come to this country. Do you think that white people want your parents to come to this country? I don't think so. You need to wake up and examine yourself because you're part of the problem moving forward. Please study 1619 and a conversation.
You know what, Michael? Very well said, and we appreciate you for that, for helping Black people to fight for cash reparations because it is needed. And you're right. People always say, "Oh, just work hard and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and all of that," but we know it's going to take 232 years at least for Black people to close the wealth gap and catch up to the wealth of our white people. We need our reparations for the horrors that were done to our ancestors. So you're absolutely right. Corliss, what you got to say, ma'am?
I'm still stuck on him with this beating women. I think I'm very taken aback, very appalled, very offended, very a lot of other things. People have to take accountability for their actions once again. And I think that's the biggest thing that we all have to understand, no matter who you're dealing with. Because at the end of the day, both people chose mutually, unless it was some type of forced situation, you were grooming a woman or some foolishness like that. You made a conscious decision to insert or let her ride you or hit it from the back or whatever the case may be. You have to take ownership for your decision as an adult with any type of sexual act that you consent to. Black women, of course, yes, the system has done a lot to us, from housing to food stamps to government assistance. Oh, you can't have a man in the home. You can't do this. The father can't be there. So yes, they have pushed them out. No matter how many children that my other kids had, I took the responsibility and ownership for myself. And yes, my mouth is very slick. But at the end of the day, like you said, I took ownership and responsibility for other children as well that were not mine, because I'm a grown ass woman at the end of the day. And if my mouth was foul, maybe it was your action that got that foul mouth, that bad attitude, that flip lip, that fuck you and some more. But to say to put your hands on a woman, put your hands on me today, because one of my baby daddies tried it and I canned his ass. That is some foul, fucked up bullshit for you to say. And I am really sad that you would say that as a Black man, to put your hands on a damn woman, no matter what her mouth says. Learn to treat a woman in such a manner and you'll get that. Women do not mind being humble to a man and obeying a man. If you put your pants on and take care of us and rise up and treat us like the queens that we are meant to be. And that's my closing statement, because he really done made me feel some kind of goddamn way.
Okay, I can respect that.
That's hilarious.
Donovan, what was you saying, Donovan?
I can respect that, but you know what I always say, and I know a lot of women aren't going to agree with that. To say that you should never put your hands on a woman, no matter what, I think is disingenuous. No, I know what you're saying, Corliss, because I believe this. What do you do when the woman beats up your mother, shoots your dog, burns your house down? And I know that's extreme, but my point is there does come a time where you might have to, you shouldn't, but there does come a time where you might have to put your hands on a woman. But Corliss was saying something totally different than what I.
So let me say this, D and Donovan. I have a son, and I just said that. I have a son that has a baby girl. I raise my boys. I don't play them games. Don't put your hand on a woman. No, none of that. He went through a domestic violence situation. He has sisters. Oh, he damn sure got a mama. Okay? So when enough became enough, you damn right you gonna protect yourself. Cause I'd be damned if my son get killed by some deranged, crazy broad. That's a totally different situation. But just for you to say, you know, a woman get put in her place and, you know, she needs to be slapped around because of her mouth. What was the man's actions? What was anybody's action to get the reaction that you got? I don't know no women. Women, I'm going to say women. I'm not saying these young girls today. I am saying grown women that handle their business and take care of their families, okay? And there are men that just sit up and just blatantly are disrespectful to men. I don't socialize with women like that because those are not women, those are children. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with only Pamela's way. And if I didn't say to you verbally how you doing, I mean, everybody should keep their hands to themselves. And yeah, I have a nephew who was dealing with that, a woman who I felt like she needed, you know, put her hands on him and all that. And he didn't put his hands on her back, you know, but I would just say, yeah, you should protect yourself. But more importantly, don't remain in a relationship with somebody that's going to put their hands on you. They do it once, they're going to keep doing it. And then, you know, anybody, you guys watched the movie back in the 80s, The Burning Bed or anything like that, you know, it just kind of, and I'm not saying that everybody's like can leave per se, because I know there's a lot of psychological stuff going on. And I'm talking about for men and women, because there's a lot of men who are victims of domestic violence as well. But yeah, we should try our best not to remain in those relationships. But yeah, I don't think we should be making the habit of beating women. If that's not the woman for you, that's just not the woman for you. You can't force something that's not meant to be. Maybe she'll, you know, be a better woman to another man, and you know, vice versa. But yeah, there's some things. Sometimes we are just not equally matched, right? So Marcus, we're gonna get out here, but I'm gonna give you the last word.
Oh, let me jump in right quick after him.
Who was that? Let me see if we take this down. Is that who said that?
I'll go after Marcus.
Okay. Marcus? Marcus, you freeze up? I think he froze up. All right, Jay, so what's on your mind?
Can I say something too, D?
Yep, you can right after Jay, and then
he can go before me.
Okay, Black America.
Miss Corliss, I never said beat a woman. I never said that. Okay, I never said slap a woman up. I never said that. I never said anything of such a nature. I don't believe in beating something or doing something to somebody that is not well deserved. What I was saying was, and you didn't understand it probably, is women can do, they have carte blanche to do whatever they want to do without any consequences behind it. That's how that man, your first man, was 17 years older than you, was allowed to not marry you, get you pregnant. But it's also on you also, because if you weren't married to him, they would have took you out and stoned you. The community would have turned their back on you. There would have been no way for you to eat or for that child to eat. And that's all I'm saying. If we start seeing public hangings of people who do things to children, it's going to be a lot less people doing things to children because they're starting to see things in a different way. Well, maybe I shouldn't do that. And there's no maybe I shouldn't do that. There are girls and women that say, getting for his child support, get pregnant, getting for his child support. Did your check come yet? Did your food stamps come yet? And we know everybody done bought food stamps on this panel. I done bought food stamps. You know what I mean? Keep it real. Like, so there is nothing to say.
Black America, you have a lot of you got a lot of feedback in your phone. So I don't know if it's rubbing on something or what. But we heard we heard what you're saying. You're basically saying there should be consequences for everybody involved. All right, Jay, you ready to speak?
Yeah, I am. Great conversation. This is a very exciting panel. Everybody hit the thumbs up because this is a very exciting panel. Black America, I kind of see what he's saying, but he's been extremely excessive when he says this thing. Stoning a woman, that's excessive. That's why I was trying to say we should whip our employees, because that's kind of excessive talk when we talk about like in relationship to today. I'm not trying to go back 200 years. I'm trying to move forward, with life and everything. Now, going back to this panel, great conversation, like I said before. But when it comes to responsibility from the men and the women, I think it should absolutely be equal. If men don't want to, marry the woman they have a child with, you need to pay child support. Now, if you want to be one of these lazy guys that want to jump job to job and you don't want to pay child support, they should arrest you. Okay, and then hopefully the state will take in and help them out. But I also want to say this. We were talking about when the other brother was talking about when the black community got discombobulated. Now, I always make this argument for the black community because I'm for reparations and everything. That the black community was the model minority up until the late 60s or the late 70s, because even through adversity and everything else, we fought hard. We was respectful to the people that was doing this to us, and we did everything by the books. We went by the rules that weren't our rules. We went through Jim Crow, we went through segregation, we went through all these levels of difficulty, and we came out. Now we have these other groups that want to claim they're the model minority, and I don't think black people should be fighting for model minority anymore because that's not important to us. We should be fighting for not only our group but for our economics and moving forward to where we can actually be in a position of power. The Jewish community, they're not even as big as us, but they're in a position of power. So we have to fight for economics. That's why I say when it comes to 2024, we need to be focused on economics and our economic conditions, because I think moving forward, we need to put ourselves in a position that we're looking out for each other. Either that's directly or indirectly, we're looking out for each other, but we're also putting ourselves in a position that if something happens to us, whether what we saw what happened to that brother on the subway or what we saw that happened to Emmett Till. Now, what I believe about Emmett Till is that Emmett Till was never served justice because the whore died, and there was no justification for what she did and how he was treated because of what she did. Now, we need to just put ourselves.
Brother Jay, when I put my fist up, that means we need to come to a close.
Oh, sorry about that. So, in closing, black people. First of all, this panel was phenomenal. Black people, we're on the right path. I believe that we moved far from the 80s and we're getting back to where we should be. I think we're doing a good job. I think we just need to pay attention. Ignore these manosphere talking points that I saw somebody up here displaying. And thanks for letting me on the panel.
Thank you so much, Jay. Please come back and see us again. Marcus, what have you quickly got to say, because we are running over?
I just want to say this to me, this thought. I was going into a corner store, and a young girl coming there. She's about 15, and she just runs to the store. She runs straight to the back. I was about to leave the store, but I looked around. I'm like, well, everybody in here is white. She black. I can't leave here. So I go back there, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she just hides in the corner. And I'm like, okay, maybe you're running from something. Maybe you're fighting another girl. Before I could figure out what was wrong with her, a young boy coming there about 15, he's hollering, bitch, where you at? Where you at? I know you're in the store. Now he comes around there and he grabs a can off the shelf and he's ready to come at her with that can. Now, mind you, he's 15 and she's about 15. Now, in my mind, this is what I leave y'all with. What happened in 15 years that you can come at her like that? And what happened in 15 years that she can put herself in a situation where he can come at her like that? And both of y'all are 15, because when I got to talking to him, I'm like, dude, I don't care what she did, she's 15. If she cheated on you, if she started talking to your best friend, he did at 15 what she's supposed to do at 15. You supposed to go together on Sunday and be broke up by Monday. That's what 15 means. But I looked at him and I asked him, why are you so mad that you finna hurt her and jeopardize yourself at 15 years old?
Absolutely. Yes, indeed, Marcus. Thank you so much for your insightful commentary. Very wise as usual. Come back and see us again and drive safely out there, my dear brother. So, Corliss, what say you on our way out of here?
We could lead these horses to the water, but baby, they ain't gonna drink.
Period. And Brother Easy, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you as always for that. Brother Don, are you still here with us?
Yes, I am, Sister Demetria. You were saying, well, I agree with 90% of what you were saying. The reality is this, and this is what I wanted to come back in and say. This is not the majority of us, but this is the propaganda that they highlight so that we see ourselves in a certain way and the world sees us in a certain way. But it is a small percentage. It's not as huge as it is. And remember, who controls the media? Who controls the propaganda? So we've got to get over that hurdle of, it's the black men against the black women. No. That is actually a small percentage. It's just.
I think you cut out. You still there?
Oh, I said I was saying I love you, and I was going to land my plane there.
I love you too, as always, Brother Don. Very insightful. And as I always say, we may not always disagree, but it's always all love. And so I thank you too, Brother Don, for coming on here and giving us your wisdom. I think I don't know if he's still there, but anyway, yes, y'all know.
I'm
YouTube
still here. I just didn't know that we were having a conversation.
I just want
I
to,
didn't know you were expecting a response from me.
No, I wasn't really. I was just saying, my appreciation for you, as always, and thank you, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You are the other side of the conversation. Thank y'all so much for making this very interesting. Donovan and I think we're gonna come and do a live on Tuesdays. We're going to also do a live conversation on Tuesdays, and we're going to also do a podcast Tuesday morning, and that's going to be released, I don't know, maybe Wednesday. So our shows on Tuesday will be live. So I guess Donovan and I need to figure out a time that we'll do that. Not too late, of course. But yeah, we're going to bring it to y'all live on Tuesday since we know y'all like the conversation. So anyway, y'all, you guys, please make sure you enjoy the rest of your day. We do have ways to donate to the channel. But at the very least, please make sure that you like, subscribe, even think about becoming a member. I would really love to have you here. In the meantime, you guys be safe out there. Peace.